Everybody, it's Snipes and Stripes back on nofilter.net with my good buddy Tim Peel. It is a new year. I know we're starting late, but we just wanted to see how the season started and how to see who was getting off on the right foot, who isn't, who's still disappointing, and who is surprising us. But welcome to another year, Tim Peel. I'm so excited to get back on with you. Everybody's been asking me, when are you guys going to start
I
up your
know.
podcast? When are you going to start the podcast again? Well, it's Wednesday. Here we are. It's October. Was it 23rd, 24th? Who
22nd.
cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? We're on board and ready to go.
Well, you know what? I thought I have a lot of jobs. I'm juggling about 5 or 6 different hats here in St. Louis, and the only guy that I know that's busier than me is you. So I had a lot of people reach out to, and when are you coming back on? And we apologize for being a week or two late, but we'll make sure we'll make it make it worth their while. And we're looking forward to a great year, especially with
Yeah.
the Olympics coming up. We'll talk about that later on. It's the
Well,
hockey's fantastic. It's exciting. So,
yeah, it is 2 weeks in, and so how what's your impression of the start of 25-26 season?
um, good for some teams. Surprised by some teams, i.e., Pittsburgh. We'll talk about them in a second. Um, and feel bad for our good buddy Matthew Barnaby in Buffalo, New York. I feel bad for those fans again because there's such a tremendous fan base and
They just can't get out of their own way, can
they
they?
just
I mean,
can't.
I know they won the last two games, so they took a little bit of pressure off, but you would think after missing the playoffs for 14 straight years, and I know they have some injuries. Listen, everybody's going to have the excuse, but my goodness, win one in the first three games. Why do you get on? Why do you start a year in such like in, in such dramatic, non-dramatic fashion to start? How can your fans get excited? How can you get excited in the locker room when you go 0 for 3 to start a season after missing the playoffs for 14 years? It's mind-boggling to me.
Well, and we saw the frustration and I don't know if you saw the interview with Tage Thompson, but this guy's a stud. I saw him for a little bit. He was drafted by St. Louis, and if you remember correctly, he went to Buffalo for Ryan O'Reilly, and the Blues eventually won the cup with O'Reilly, so that worked out. But Tage Thompson is a player that any team, he's going to be talked about for the U.S. Olympic team this year. The guy's just a phenomenal player, and I feel bad for guys like him because yeah, they're young and they've got lots of time and so on. But guess what? Tell Corey Perry that. Corey Perry won one cup his first year in Anaheim, and he's been in 5 consecutive cups. It's tough to win in this league, and sometimes that window closes really quick.
It does, but are you going to? I mean, Tage Thompson just scored his first goal of the season.
I,
So how? So
I'm
how
not.
are you going to? So are you going to feel bad for Tage Thompson because
I
he's
do.
losing? He scores one goal. He scored one goal in his first 6-7 games.
It doesn't mean that it's his fault. He can't do everything himself,
I,
Jr.
but
The
he's
kid
got
is
he's
the
got to be
kid.
more he's got to be more productive.
Well,
He's not even the top three in scoring on his team.
no shit, Sherlock. I know he
So
does, but the kid's a
so
stud.
no, you
I love
no
him.
you that's why you get paid the big bucks. That's why when you lose, you're going to be the one that they're going to point to. I had to deal with it. If I wasn't playing good and we're losing, it's my fault, or
But
they put more of the blame on me.
you were on better teams too. You're on the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, yeah, but how
You,
long how long are you gonna make it okay for the Buffalo to lose? At some point, you
no,
got to
I'm not.
start.
Yeah.
I mean, but Toronto Maple Leafs are getting destroyed. You know who gets destroyed on the Toronto Maple Leafs? Their top guys. Their
Yep.
top guys. I mean, you think Mitch Marner's having a good time this year? Probably having the best time he's ever had in hockey, right? So, granted, I'm a big Tage Thompson fan. I think he's great, but you know, I'm not going to be easy on him if he has one goal in the first 7 games. You can't put it so much on the goaltender. I think he's been pretty good. He's got a 2.4, 2.5 goals against average, 918 save percentage. He's done a pretty good job. I mean, Lyons is not a bad goaltender. The problem
No.
is, and I was talking this morning with Rivet and Peters on After the Whistle this morning, and Craig Rivet made a great point. Their draft over the last 5 or 6 years has created duds, absolute
Right.
duds, people that have not panned out and have been already shipped away. Cousins is gone. You got JJ Paterka is gone. These are all high draft picks. These are guys that they were expected to be contributors, night in, night out, and now they're not with the team anymore. You can keep going. Middlestat's not there anymore. There's so
So,
many different elements of why, and maybe it just comes down to their drafting, to their scouting, because not many people are going there as free agents.
but Jr., you contradicted yourself because obviously they are drafting well. Dylan Cousins in Ottawa is a great player.
But
JJ,
he's gone.
I know he's gone, but they drafted him. That's not the scouts' fault, right?
Why?
That's
Why?
because the scouts can't control what the GM does. The GM is the one that
Yeah, but
traded those guys away.
Cousins does nothing for Buffalo now.
Well, JJ Paterka,
He does nothing for them now.
I understand that, but you're talking about them drafting. They are drafting well. It's the GM that's trading them away.
But they didn't work out in Buffalo. That's why they got traded.
Maybe they weren't patient enough with them. JJ Paterka is a hell of a player in Utah. Dylan Cousins is a great player. Who's a
Maybe it's the air in Buffalo that doesn't makes everybody want to be
I,
lethargic and not
I
get.
didn't like that trade. I didn't like Josh Norris for Dylan Cousins. Josh Norris is a great player, but very injury prone. And sure enough, first or second game of the year, he's taking a face off. I don't know what happened, but he's out again hurt. For whatever reason, the guy just can't stay healthy. So I don't know.
Crazy.
It's sad for the Buffalo fans because we have said for years they are some of the best fans in hockey. I
No
love that.
question.
I love.
I wonder if I want. I wonder if Patch Adams has gotten any sleep over the last couple of years.
I don't know. And Kevin Adams is a great guy.
He's a great guy.
I rep
He was one of my favorite teammates in LA. I loved him. I call him Patch because I just love that movie. But so I
Yeah,
call him Patch Adams. But
he's a great.
he's a great guy. I feel bad. I do feel bad. I hate ripping Buffalo, but they're their own worst enemy. Who's also been again disappointing? The Rangers, man. How can Rangers just not put something together with that club they got over there?
I don't get it. They
You know,
scored the first, as you know, the first three games at home they scored 0 goals. They scored one.
0 goals in Madison Square Garden at home.
that
That's unbelievable.
that hurts. And then they score one at home and lose to Mini. I don't get it because that's another good team. And listen, oh God, the coach's name, U.S. coach, was in Pittsburgh. Help me out here.
Sullivan?
Sully, great coach, phenomenal coach. I don't know what's going on there. Panarin,
Mike Sullivan is an amazing coach. I mean,
Sabin,
you want to talk about strategy, bench coach, guy in the
100%
locker room,
detail. You like,
detail. He had a very good career, played the game. Just a tremendous guy, front to back. Look what he did in Pittsburgh. I mean, the guy won cups in Pittsburgh. You can't say this guy is not a good coach. Like, what is going on with some of these teams and some of these players that just don't buy into it, don't get it?
I don't understand it. And New York is probably one of the best places to officiate, one, as you know, one of the best places to play.
Yeah.
And for those fans not to be able to celebrate, that when they chant they get the song going there when
Hey, hey.
hey. And I don't get it. That's the crazy thing about this league. It is a tough league to win in. And you look at San Jose, I feel terrible for that Werfowski. I can never pronounce his name, the coach. And I laughed the other day because he said he'd give up one of his kids just for a win. And, obviously he was joking and apologized for I don't know why he apologized. Everybody knows it was a joke, but it's a tough league to win in, bud. It's a tough league to win in.
So I'm going to go on the flip side, okay, and show you how it is done. And granted, it is early, but I'm going to go to my Chicago Blackhawks, man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to praise this team for their grit, for their tenacity, for their compete. Um, I think their coach has come in and has done an amazing job of creating a good atmosphere where they have to be accountable to each other. He's creating a really nice, a really good. Um, what's the word we talk about in the locker
Culture.
room?
Culture.
Culture. Yeah, he's building a real good culture. Every single game this year, every game so far, they have competed and they have been in the game right from the start. They've lost all the losses are one goal, either in overtime or late in the game, and they fight for each other. I was at game one against Montreal. Let me tell you something. It was one of the most exciting games that I've seen in a long time because
Mhm.
there were hits, there's tenacity, there's guys that were sticking up for each other. Nazar gets hit really hard at center ice. Boom, three guys in, fights. There was more fights in that game on opening night in Chicago than they probably had all last year. This is a team that it's changing its mentality, and I think their superstar Bedard is a different player this year. He has a different attitude. I think he's stronger on his feet. I think he's a little faster. Now, I'm not saying he's stronger, period, but I think he's got more compete. Um, he seems more committed, and I think I think this summer was a big eye opener for Connor Bedard. Now, is he going to score 50 or score 45? Probably not. He needs some more people around him. But I see a different kid this year. I
100.
see I see a kid who the players are playing hard for him. In that game I was just talking about, Connor Bedard was in four scrums, punching people in the head, jumping in, getting involved, yelling back, throwing face washes, slashing guys, chopping at guys. That's the edge that I want to see out of him. He doesn't have to fight everybody, but
No.
what he's getting right now, he's getting his teammates fighting for him harder, which I think
Well,
that's the culture.
so Chicago was in town last Wednesday. Before I get to the game, because I went to the game with my wife and another couple Tuesday, I had the pleasure of playing golf with our buddy Darren Pang. Panger was in town to do the game for TNT, even though the Blackhawks were playing here. So we had 4 hours together on the golf cart and a few cocktails and having some fun. And so we talked about the Blackhawks. And he said, Timmy, he goes, Blashill's training camp was one of the best training camps that Panger said he's ever been around. He goes, it was so impressive compared to previous coaches. And Panger's been around a lot of training camps. He said it was top notch. He has these guys prepared, and he was so impressed by it. We talked about Bedard and the same thing you alluded to, different player this year. We got to remember, guy's 20 years old. He was 19 last year. Not everybody, and JR, not everybody is 19 like you were and has that fuck you attitude that comes in and I'm going to run over guys no matter how big or small they are. It sometimes takes players longer, but this kid is only 20. So fast forward, we play golf Tuesday, and we go to the game Wednesday, and let's just say for the last half of the game, we spent it in the bar downstairs because the Blackhawks shellacked St. Louis at home 8-3, and it was ugly for St. Louis. But to your point about Bedard, Parenko gave him a little cross check, and Bedard gave it right back to him. And I'm like, that's not the player I saw last year.
Yeah, right. And
So
that's what we've been complaining about for a little while.
exactly,
Get that
exactly.
bite, and I'll
Yeah,
tell you what, he's going to get that respect from the other team, right?
100%. And from it, and most importantly, he's going to get that respect from his
From his
teammates.
teammates. And I
Exactly.
think I think he's engaging himself with his teammates more. He's around the guys. He's getting involved with the guys. We were at Chelly's golf tournament. He's there with Felino and all the boys with Nazar, and they're drinking beers on the golf course. They're having a great time. There's Connor drinking beers with the boys, talking, engaging with everybody. It was great. And that's what we need from him. And I'll tell you a story. And I heard this from somebody that was very close to the Olympic team. John Cooper had a sit down with Bedard and said, "Hey, listen, you're here amongst these 50 people, these 50 players that have a chance to be on the Olympic team. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be on this team, but if you want to be a part of this team, you got to do you got to be more engaged with the boys. You have to be going out with the boys. You have to be part of the guys, the culture. You got to get more enthusiastic about being with the boys. You got to become one of the guys, right? You got to get in there. You got to, and I'm telling you, when you hear a guy like John Cooper, who obviously has so much success and now is the Olympic coach, Connor Bedard wants to be on that Olympic team so bad.
Right.
And he'll do whatever it takes to get on there. And I'm not saying he's not going to be on it this year, but with the attitude that he took coming out of that Olympic camp and the way that he structured this summer, I mean, the kid's faster, kid's stronger at his
Yeah.
skates. He'll get more brave as he gets going because his confidence is going to build. Like you said, he's only 20 years old, but I see things from him this year that are motivating his team and doing exactly what they're expected from Connor Bedard. And for me, as a Blackhawk guy, that's great. It's
Mhm.
great news. It's great to see that.
Well, and you know what? I think the future's bright for the Blackhawks. They've got two or three tall drink of waters for
Oh,
defensemen.
that Renzel, man, he's a real deal. That
He's
kid
the
can
real
play.
deal, and I think this Spencer Knight is kind of given some stability to the goaltending position. They got a great coach.
It's funny you
Um,
said that, but because I think this situation has given stability to McKnight.
yeah,
He
yeah,
didn't have that in Florida. It was like up and down, back and forth, and he's a great goaltender, but he's behind Bobrovsky, who's behind.
right,
He just never really got a good shot. He's the number one goaltender in Chicago, which
100%.
I think that's where he's going to thrive. They played Anaheim on Sunday. Let me tell you something. I was at the game. I was sitting on the glass with some people. That Anaheim team is big.
Yeah,
They
they
are
are.
strong. They are fast. And during warm up, I'm sitting here like, these Hawks are going to get killed. They're going to get killed tonight. And you know what the Hawks did? They came out and they played their ass off. They competed, and McKnight just absolutely had a night, and he saved that game for the Hawks. And sometimes that's going to happen, but that's what McKnight brings. He brings that little bit more stability that the team feels a little bit more confident. There's no way the Hawks should have beaten Anaheim, not
Right.
with the chances that they had. The chances that Anaheim had in the first two periods were ungodly. Some of the plays, and McKnight got a little lucky a few times, but made some huge saves. And he held him in, held him in, held him in. They got up one. Unfortunately, they got tied up, but they won in overtime.
Yeah.
Right? That's how you learn to win, by feeding off all this stuff, and that's what Chicago's doing. And they're finding ways of winning and staying in games. That's turning their brain. They're doing exactly what Buffalo should be doing, but Buffalo doesn't.
Well, listen, before we move on, and we will talk about Joel Quenneville and the Anaheim Ducks and the job Pat Verbeek has done in Anaheim, but I do want to, it'd be remiss of me not to give a shout out to Nick Foligno, his daughter. I hope I pronounce it right, Milana, Milana. She had heart surgery a few days ago. He had to step away from the team. I love Nick Foligno. I know how much you love Nick. He
Yeah,
just
I asked him to come on the show today, and he unfortunately I was too late to ask him. He had a prior event, but he said, "I promise I will be back on with
he's a
you."
great guy, great human
He's
being,
unbelievable. He's a
great,
great
great.
leader. He's a great teammate. He's a hard nosed player. He's He's one of my favorite guys in the world. I love Nick. And
Well, you after the show, you tell him that we gave him a shout. We gave Milana a shout out on the
I
show.
sure will. I sure will. He's
Because
one of my
I can't imagine as a dad having to see my daughter going into the hospital room having having heart surgery. It gives me the chills right now. So anyway, all the best to Nick and his family. He's the best. Let's talk about Anaheim because Pat Verbeek. I loved Pat Verbeek. The guy, what was he, about 5'6"? Played like he was 6'5".
dude.
Uh,
He
right,
was just an absolute pain in the balls to play against.
right. What was he like to play against?
He was he very much like
Yeah,
Marchand. Always in your ear, always go, always chopping, always digging, never push a guy out, scores big goals. Um, I would say Marchand is probably the best comparison. Maybe a Fleury, but he was bigger than Fleury.
yeah,
But he's he was such a good goal scorer, man. He had touch, he could skate, he could shoot. Um, God, he was a pain. I hated playing Jersey because of him, Danico, and Brodeur.
right.
I hated him, hated it, and Niedermeyer too, and obviously Stevens. But
Yeah,
those guys, I mean, those were that was the crazy five.
yeah.
That was the I hated them.
Well, anyway, he's putting on he's putting together a great team in Anaheim, and he put his balls on the line this year and hired Joel Quenneville, and he knew he'd take a little flack, but you and I have been saying for the past 2 years that Joel deserves to be back in the league, and I'm so happy to see the success that he's having so far. They that Cutter Gauthier didn't want to stay in Philly. He traded Draisaitl to Philly for Cutter Gauthier, and he's fitting in well there. Uh, they've just got a tremendous team, and I think the future is so bright in Anaheim.
I'm telling you what, this team is big. This team
Right?
is strong. This team can play. And that Carlson kid, the second round pick from coming
Yeah.
last year, holy hell, can this guy skate? Gauthier looked amazing. And again, Rive made a great point this morning. They have amazing young talent that's big, strong, and all can fly and move the puck, and they're smart. And then they surround them with guys like Killorn, like like Truba, like
Good.
Gudis,
Yeah.
you know, and Kreider, right?
Yeah.
Not that I would think,
Ryder.
not that I think Kreider is a great leader,
No, but he's a veteran.
but he's a veteran and he's scored. Did he score 50? I think he might have scored 50. He scored 45 for
40.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that kid can score goals. It's a good guy to have around for these young kids, right? So, um,
I'm loving the orange jerseys. I love them. I love them. You played in orange. You played in Philly.
dude, they were white and orange at the
I
game
love
the
it.
other day. I was like, whoa, these are wild.
Don't you think it looks good though?
It looked good on them.
Yeah.
They they were like I couldn't get over how big they were
I
and how
think it looks great. I love it.
so look out. Hey, watch out for them in the next couple of
I
years.
know.
They are gonna be real good.
Hey, listen, we were talking about Buffalo. Let's head up about an hour and a half up the road to Toronto. And before we talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs, we, we kind of said last year at the end of the year when we were closing our shows out that Marner was going to move on. And to me, I think Vegas was a perfect spot for Mitch Marner,
Oh, can it be any better
right?
for Mitch Marner?
Right?
Look at how well Jack Eichel's playing this year. I mean, Jack Eichel getting a guy like Marner on that team that frees him up so much. Um, and by the way, you don't think that Mitch Marner is enjoying wearing shorts to practice every day? You don't think he's enjoying being in the desert, being in a city where they're not going to recognize him, going to the games to a rink that's exciting every single night, in a building that's electric every single night, on a team that it's really strong. The only problem with Vegas right now is they can't keep their captain healthy.
I know.
You know,
Stoney.
Mark Stone is the heartbeat of that team, and he is true blue, one of the greatest guys ever. And
Stoney's got 11 assists this year already.
I know, and he got hurt again. It's
I
like
know. I know.
this team. I mean, between them and Colorado, they're the cream of the crop of the league right now. But
Eichel's got 6 goals and 11 assists. Stoney's got 11 assists. Mitch Marner's got 8 assists. I read a quote the other day, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. Doroviov. He's the goal scorer for Vegas, and Mitch Marner. He's got 7 goals. This Pavel Doroviov. I sound like Don Cherry trying to pronounce names here right now. And Mitch Marner said he's one of the most elite goal scorers he's ever played with. This kid, I guess, is unbelievable. I haven't seen a lot of them, but anyway, back to Toronto. Chief's going out of his mind. He's losing it.
how can you not, though?
And I don't blame him. Anthony Stolarz.
They just seem so lethargic. Like
Anthony,
again,
Anthony Stolarz basically called out his teammates. It's a good team. What is going on in Toronto, buddy? You like I
I
don't.
just think everybody's afraid. They're afraid to They're afraid to take chances. They're afraid to make mistakes because they know they're going to get ridiculed in the media.
Well,
It's just,
they gotta quit worrying about that because that. Listen, you're playing for.
buddy. These guys don't think that way. They're not.
You're
They're,
playing for your teammates and you're playing for your coach, Craig
yeah, but
Berube.
they're not built the same way anymore these days. They're built more emotionally. They're built more emotionally sensitive. You know, everything in life today is, oh, you hurt my feelings. You know, feelings don't matter. Winning matters. Playing the right way matters. Doing things right matters. Your feelings don't. We don't care about your feelings. We care about winning. We're not sitting here worried in the locker room of making sure that your feelings aren't hurt. And that's the problem with society these days. Is there's no toughness anymore. You lay your hand on your kid and you got child services at your door taking them away from you. I mean, there's and listen, whether you believe in that or not, it's your own prerogative. But it's transcended into sports
Yeah.
where when it gets really hard or things happen and the sensitivity comes in, all of a sudden you step back, you step away, you protect yourself. There's a protection mode that's like, I don't like this. So you got to stop. So it's a trait. I believe it's a trait. I mean, and it's a learned trait from when you're young. It's really hard to get it when you're now 24, 25 years old and you've been coddled your whole life. Um, and I think there are old school players in the league that still play the game the right way. And then there's players in this league that literally, I think, look forward to having an injury so they can stay out 4 or 5 games so they don't have to deal with the pressure of having to produce.
No, you know what? A lot of what you said is true because I see it. Bronson is first year AAA this year, and I was proud of him for making a AAA team. And it's first year checking, and there's very few guys checking out there, right? They all want to score the goals. They all want to look awesome. And I said to him the other day in the car, I said, you can be a prick. He kind of looked at me like, be a prick out there. I said, I said, do you know Chris Pronger? I said, I saw a great interview with Chris Pronger. Because as you know, J.R. Prongs was one of the dirtiest, meanest players.
He was my number one worst player to play against.
Awful, awful. He'd say to me, I'd call a penalty against him. He's like, come on, Peelsy. I'm like, Prongs, you just took 5 that shift. I'm just figuring out which one's the worst one. You know what I mean? Like,
That's great.
but it's true. But anyway, Prong said to in this interview, he goes, that's not Chris Pronger off the ice, right? Chris Pronger off the ice, he looks like an accountant.
He
Right?
does.
But Chris Pronger's persona on the ice was, I am a fucking asshole. I am a prick. Nobody is going to want to go near me. And he developed that reputation and hence was a Stanley Cup champion and probably could have won a couple more,
And
but
Hall
was
of
a
Famer.
phenomenal player in the Hockey Hall of Fame, well deserved. But I'm trying to instill that into some of these kids. Like, it's okay to be a prick out there. It's
Sure,
okay to be mean,
sure.
right?
You need it.
100%.
That's the key to
That
that,
separates you,
that's a
JR.
key to success, my friend.
Right. It separates
It's a
you
key
from.
to success because
I know.
when it comes down to it, it's survival of the fittest. It's someone's going to win. Is it going to be me or is it going to be you?
You know, my wife thinks I'm crazy, and I know I am too. But I showed him this video of Joe Rogan too, and Joe Rogan says we're raising a generation of a bunch of pussies,
Well,
and
exactly.
he goes whether it's business or whether it's sports, he goes if you're a savage in either one of them, you will run over kids, you will run over people in business if you're a savage. But we're raising a generation of pussies, and if you can instill that in your kids, just a little bit of it, it's a good thing in my eyes. But anyway, I'm crazy. Tisha thinks I'm crazy, but I'm trying to. That's what I'm
That's all
trying
right.
to.
I mean, listen, we're every to each his own, right? It's like I'm not gonna hate you for the way you choose to raise your kids, or I'm not gonna hate you for your opinions. I won't agree with you.
Right.
I might lose a little respect for your
Sure.
process, but I'm not gonna not like you. I'm not. It's not gonna be like hey, stay away from me or I'll effing kill you, like some people say.
Right. Right.
Um,
Well, hey, listen, we got to, before we get into money and contracts, we got to talk about crybaby Brad Marchand last night. And I'm saying that in jest because
oh, I didn't even know. I didn't watch what happened. I knew he was in Boston,
oh,
right? Was he in
I
Boston?
friggin' loved it. He was in Boston. He went the night
You
before.
can't call Marchand a crybaby.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm
that guy's warrior mentality,
He's a
man.
warrior. But anyway, he went out to dinner with Adam McQuaid, Bergeron, Chara, and somebody else the night before the game. And they asked him, they said, who paid? And he said, they bullied me into picking up the bill. And they gave him a tribute last night. I wanted to see it. Uh, and as he said in an interview after, as soon as they showed his kids on the Jumbotron, he just broke down and he was uncontrollably. And the more he cried, the louder the cheers were in Boston because
Yeah,
they loved Brad Marchand
and they still do.
and they still do. And
That's pretty cool. That's
I
a
love,
that's a very hard thing to do to have when you leave a city after so long, and then have success,
and
right?
the thing is, he's 36 or 37. He had two assists last night. They won late in the game. He had two assists out of the three goals. The guy is still playing at an unbelievable level.
Yeah.
It's just they don't make Brad Marchands anymore.
No, but I think Brad Marchand has a developed and adapted so well over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, he's grown up. He has become so much more of a respectful player and a great player. I mean, back to the days when the coach questioned whether he can even score 20 goals, and he's like, 20 goals, I'll do that in my sleep. And it was like, question it. You know, I don't remember who it was, the coach at the time, but
Well, they're gonna need him in Florida because our friend Matthew Kachuk, Bark
he's out till next year, right?
until at least January. Barkov's out for the year and Kulikov's out for 5 months. So well coached team. They've got depth. They've still got some good players.
Yeah,
They got a great.
I think they're gonna have a tough year this year.
They'll
They're
have a tough
tired.
year. They'll have a tough year, and I think they realize that, right? You know, you don't replace an
No,
Alexander Barkov.
no, no. You don't replace any of those guys really that they
No,
lost. It's gonna be tough.
no.
But yeah, and they've played more hot. They've been to finals last 3 years in a row.
Uh huh.
That's a lot of hockey over 3 years, man. I mean, there's the reason why they're falling and getting hurt now. It's a lot of hockey, plus training in the off season, plus camps, plus all that stuff. It's
Plus,
a lot. It
plus,
really is a lot.
plus, plus the Stanley Cup partying all summer. You know.
Well, you know what it was? It was the Four Nations that got Matthew Tkachuk. He
Yeah, it
played.
was.
He got hurt in the Four Nations. Kept playing. Kept playing. Kept playing. Get worse and worse. Then he kept playing in the playoffs through the final, and sacrificed his body. I mean, this
Yeah, he
guy
did.
literally played on 45% for 4 months.
I know.
I mean, it
He,
shows you the grit that Matthew
oh,
Tkachuk has. So
he's a stud, man, and unfortunately Brady's out for 6, 7, 8 weeks. He had thumb surgery a few days ago. He had ripped a ligament right off his bone on his thumb. Kind of a dirty hit by Roman Yossi in behind the net. Not suspendable, but Brady didn't have the puck and he kind of hit him from behind. And I love
yeah,
Roman.
unexpected.
I,
Probably was unexpected.
unexpected. I love Yossi, but anyway,
So you
Brady.
know what? Speaking of the Four Nations, because the Four Nations created so much hype, right, and got everybody excited for the Olympics. It's coming quick. It's
I
like
know.
4 months. 4 months, the Olympics going to be here.
I can't wait. I
It's
can't
going to
wait.
be awesome in Italy. I might go over, man. I
First,
might.
first time in 12 years, and it was so funny. I was thinking about it today. You and we hopped on a charter flight from New Jersey, and
Yep.
you were to the right of me, and I was sitting in. They were all first class seats for us, which was awesome. And Kelly Sutherland and I and Derek Amell, we literally drank the whole. It was a what was it, 11 hour
Oh, it
flight,
was like
12,
12, 13 and a
12.
half hours to Sochi.
We get on the plane, we started drinking. The next thing you know, we have the flight attendants are hanging out with us. Next thing you know, the pilots are back hanging out with us. You're sleeping, Milbury sleeping, Catherine Tappins, all these people are sleeping. And Sudsy and I and Derek Amell drank the entire flight over. If
No wonder why you guys stunk under on the ice in Sochi.
and we land in Russia. We land in Russia, and it was pretty intense, the security, right, going
Yeah, it
through and
was.
so on. And we get through to the village, and Derek looks at me. We haven't slept in 15, 16 hours. And he looks at me, he goes, "Do you want to go grab a beer?" I go, "Sure." And we just kept it going for 17 days over in Russia.
Crazy. Well,
We
now they got that. Now they got the opposite. Now they're going to be in Italy, right? So
Oh,
another great place to be. But
that's going to
it's
be awesome.
but it's the Olympics. But I what's your thought on the Russians not being able to compete in the Olympics? Because obviously they would have one of the toughest teams, but obviously all these sanctions and everything are keeping them out. Is it really an Olympics without the Russian team there, or are we losing part of the luster?
It is still an Olympics without the Russian team there, but obviously this war with Ukraine, Putin's obviously a communist dictator, and I don't obviously agree with everything that's gone on both sides between them and Ukraine, but I hate the fact Alexander Ovechkin, Malkin, any of these guys that were born in Russia. It's not their fault they were born in Russia. They were born in Russia. They have nothing to do with this war. Literally nothing to do with this war. I really think they should be allowed to play. I wish they were able to play because it would just make the Olympics that much more exciting. USA against Russia, Canada against Russia. Those are some of the best games
Yeah,
dating back to the Canada Cup 72 series. Canada versus Russia, right? Back then it was
oh,
Canada.
that's why I said that. I mean, that's why I posed the question. But if Russia and Putin don't want to be a part of the world culture at all,
Right.
and playing dictator to the world, why should they be involved in the celebration of the world's activities?
But are we is Putin being celebrated at the Olympics, or are the athletes being celebrated at the Olympics? Like, to me, it's about the
Well,
athlete.
why should the country be celebrated? Why should the country be celebrated when their leader? I mean, they could revolt against him. They can try to get him out. I know he is a dictator. I
Fuck,
know
you're
he's
not
a
going to revolt
dictator.
against Putin. He'll have you killed. You'll be in a body bag in the Baltic Sea in about 30 minutes. Like,
Hey,
I
listen,
know what.
everybody. Hey, listen. I know he's a dictator. I know he has everybody under his thumb. But his decisions are keeping his country away from against world activities. There's
No,
no way about it.
and I understand that. I have a problem with the athletes having to pay the price for that. I get your point, but I feel like, what did the athletes do? They didn't do anything. Like, they didn't do. They're not a part of this. Like, and
It's that guilty by association aspect, right?
yeah,
But
but that sucks. That's not. Listen, we
nobody says all is fair in love and war. Is that what they say? It's
yeah.
no. It's
I
unfortunate.
wish
It's
I
really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because Alex Ovechkin wants to play in the Olympics, and
100%.
that would be his dream. He's won a cup. He would love to be able to win a gold medal, and I
People
would love to see him play.
people
Um,
people forget, JR. The last Olympics is when you and I were over there. You were with NBC, and
yeah,
I was
14,
officiating. That was 2014.
14. Yep.
It's been 12 years,
Mhm.
and it sucks. Like, well, he won't play in another Olympics, right? Even if the war ended, say next year, is he going to play in 4 more years? Probably not, right? So I feel bad for him for that he doesn't get to play in the Olympics for
Yeah.
everything he's done for the National Hockey League.
Yeah. There's a bunch of guys. There's so many Russian players that I played with that I absolutely love. That
Yeah,
was just the greatest guys, great teammates, great competitors. I know they do love the international competition.
oh, they love it.
They love playing for their country, but unfortunately, the country's not represented by a good character person. And
Yeah,
you can't support that. You can't
no,
support what's going on, and
no,
I
no,
won't support it. And there's a reason. I feel bad for the players, though. You're right, but I still don't think that they should go because I think you got to be a whole representation, and they're not representing the world proper way.
right.
So I don't know. That's just my take. My take.
Let's before we go, we got to talk money here, because
Well, why would we have to talk money? Did something happen over the off season or before the season started that kind of put a little wrinkle in the
Capri
sheets?
Kaprizov backed up the Brinks truck, and Billy Guerin was held hostage, and we love Billy, and Billy had no choice. You can't lose a player of that magnitude, and with the salary going up, who knows? Maybe 17 million will be the norm for a player of that
Yeah,
caliber.
but what did it like? Did it surprise you that it was Kaprizov that set that bar? Everybody thought it was going to be Connor McDavid
Or
with
Eichel, or Eichel,
or Draisaitl
or Draisaitl. You know, Jack Eichel signed for 13 million in Vegas, right?
or Kucherov or McKinnon or Makar.
17 schmil is a lot of money,
Well,
man.
he's making 18.5 this year.
Oh my God.
It's 18.5 this year. Now, listen, he didn't just go to 14, which was the other. Was it Matthews that got 14
Yeah.
or Draisaitl that got 14? He went to 18. He actually declined 16.5. He
That,
wouldn't come to camp
that's
for
unbelievable.
16.5. So, like, what? You just the highest paid hockey player in NHL history by over $2.5 million, and you still said no, and
Right?
you're not even in the top 5 best players in the game. Wow.
What,
So
What do you
So
think
that
about?
that bargain that bargains the question. Is it, are guys entitled to big contracts by how important they are to their team, not how big they are in the league?
Yeah, that's a great point. Is it more about the team than, because obviously Kirill's not in the, as of right now, he's not in the top five or so of points. Um, yeah,
But
I think
he's not even in the top 5 in players.
right.
No, not even close. He's a great player.
He's a great player.
He's an energetic player. Like, there's no question I'd have him on my team because you know what you're going to get from him every single night. He's an honest guy. He's got serious talent. He is a digger. He's a warrior. He's a banger. But does that mean that Connor Bedard, who's going to be up for a contract soon, is going to make 16? Does Connor Bedard, does he ask for 16 because he is the marquee player for Chicago? He's the
What's
most
he,
important player for Chicago.
what's he making right now?
He's still on his rookie contract.
So whatever. Yeah. Um,
I don't know.
I don't. You can't pay Connor Bedard 16 million. You can't.
You can't pay Kaprizov 18.5.
Well, they just paid McDavid 12.5.
Okay, so give me your breakdown of why he did that.
He wants to win. He wants to win. He wants to win a Stanley Cup. I have so much respect for the guy.
Hey, Tim Peel. They just went to the Stanley Cup twice back-to-back years and
Yeah, and they
couldn't get
lost.
it done. So they
Yeah,
think they're going to get it done the third time. Think they're going to get it done the fourth time. The
but
team's not getting any better. They're
but
worse this year.
but he is willing to take a discount so that Jeff Jackson can
So you
surround
think he has a
himself.
better chance of winning a Stanley Cup
I'm
in
not saying
Edmonton
that.
rather
I'm,
than using his free agency to move someplace else as a better team?
I'm not saying that at all. But
Okay,
what
well,
I'm
then
what
why are
I'm
you saying he wants to win? If he wants to win, he wouldn't have signed. He would have moved
but
on.
no, that's not true. He wants to win in Edmonton. That's the
Oh,
team that drafted him.
okay, that's a different story then.
Draisaitl and him are tight. Draisaitl just signed a long-term deal a year or two ago. Connor, there's a reason. Everybody knows it that he signed. The reason he signed a 2-year deal, so he's got this and 2 years left. You
So
know,
he's giving them a deal. He's giving them the deal of the century.
I respect him for that,
I
Jr.
do too. Hey,
In a
by the
world,
way,
in a
I
world,
do too.
in a world where some athletes, it's all about the money and they don't care about winning. I give him a ton of respect for only taking
I said this morning. I said he has he has cemented um
legacy.
his legacy on his character um by signing a 2-year deal. He's giving loyalty to a team that he wants to bring a cup to.
He could, sorry to cut you off, but he could have said, no, you know what? I want an 8-year deal at 20 million a year.
Yep,
And guess what? And guess what? He would have got it.
he would have got it
He would have
anywhere,
got it
anywhere.
anywhere, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But he took 12.5.
Yeah, for
Like
2 years.
he's leaving a lot of money. Now, I hate it. I complimented, I went
I
on
don't think
social
I agree. I don't think he cares about the money. I think he cares about his. I think he cares about his legacy. I think
media.
he cares about he's going to go down as the top 5 best players to ever play the game.
I agree.
That's a no brainer. Now I think what he just took off the plate is people saying, he's a traitor, or he gave up on the team, or he just wanted to go just do something because he wanted more money, or he just wanted to win. He didn't care about this. He took that off the plate in
Yeah, he
Edmonton.
did. Yeah, he did.
Even if he leaves after 2 years, which he probably will, nobody can go back and say that asshole. He just bailed on us.
No, they can't. I
They
agree.
can't do it.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. But who is going to be able to afford that other than the team that he plays for? a contract of that magnitude in a couple of years. You know what I
That
mean?
that
Like,
that salary cap's going to go up over 100 million.
I know it's going to go up, but it's
And
got to go up.
there'll be teams that will be after 2 years positioning their teams
Yeah, they will.
in order to have a shot at offering that kind of money. That's how
Right.
important Connor McDavid is, even at 31, at 30, 31.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I
I
thought, listen, I love Connor McDavid. I think I love watching him. I think he is the utmost pro
yeah,
and good person. He I didn't think he can get higher on my like scale, but he
yeah.
did.
I
But
know.
he did.
I know.
Um, Unfortunately, I mean, he's only got 1 goal, 8 assists. I mean, he's having an off year so far to start with goals wise, which is okay.
Yeah.
But I don't see Edmonton getting back to the final this year.
It's going to be a tall task. There's so many good teams in the West. I was listening to Billy Guerin the other day, and he's like, the Central Division, he thinks is the toughest division in hockey with Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota, Dallas. You know what I mean? So
Jeez,
like,
jeez,
right?
no, I don't want that.
No, right?
Don't want that.
Hey, are
Um,
you surprised? Are you surprised by Detroit's off to a 5-1 start? But Pittsburgh and um, Washington are off to a 5-2 start. Okay, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Washington, 5-2, 5-2. Detroit's 5-1. Out of those three teams, which one surprises you the most with their
Pittsburgh,
start? I agree.
Pittsburgh,
Exactly.
Pittsburgh,
Absolutely.
and Crosby's killing it. He's got 4 goals, 10 points. Malkin's killing it. They're playing so good. I, you know, luckily, I'm not a gambler anymore because I would have lost a lot of money on the first 5 games to get from Pittsburgh. I would have had Pittsburgh losing, to
Right.
winning.
Right.
Detroit doesn't surprise me. They got some pretty young, great talent. I've watched them in preseason. They're good. They can skate. They can work. Um, Washington surprises me a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but their pedigree is pretty good. After what they did last year, they got to prove it's not a fluke. Um, what's Ovechkin need? Like 3 more for 900, or 4 more for 900, something like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? What you see too, Detroit, well coached by Todd McClellan. Washington, well coached by Spencer Carberry. I'm happy for a guy like Dan Muse in his first year coaching in the NHL. He's off to a good start. He's replacing a legend in Mike Sullivan that's won a Stanley Cup and U.S. Olympic teams and everything
I mean,
else.
that could be one of the reasons why they're playing so good. It's a new chemistry. It's a new atmosphere.
New
You know,
voice.
a lot of these guys are trying to make a good impression on a new coach and solidify their their reputation within that coach's mind.
Right.
Because as well as I do, a coach will go in and they will make up their mind of how they feel about players by how they see them play when they're there.
How old Sidney Crosby? 37?
It's got to be 38 by now, isn't he?
37, 38. And you know what I love? When anybody talks about the Olympic team, they go, "Oh yeah, McKinnon, McDavid, Crosby." Like they don't even like, well, is he too old now? Is Sid too? No, it doesn't even come up in conversation that, well, maybe he's been, maybe we go younger. No, it's Sidney Crosby.
No, he's the
Like,
ultimate. He's the ultimate professional.
he is unbelievable. It's going to be a sad day when he retires because that
Listen,
guy,
he goes retirement on Saturday, on Sunday, Hall of Fame on Monday.
right?
Done.
Done. I know. I
Done. End of
You
sentence.
don't think he's going to have to wait a year or two,
And
or
Ovechkin, the same thing. Those two players
yeah,
retire on Sunday, Hall of Fame on Monday. Boom.
yeah.
They're Gretzky Lemieux height.
And you're going to go back to the Hall of Fame in
Couple
November,
weeks. Couple
and
weeks. Gonna go support my boy Jumbo.
Jumbo Joe.
Gonna go support my boy Duncan Keith. Gonna go support my boy Zdeno Chara.
That's
I,
awesome. Hey,
Zdeno called me the other day. He was so good to talk to him. He's such a good man. It's a great NHL lineup. Mogilny finally gets in. Jumbo goes in first ballot. Chara goes in first ballot. Duncan Keith goes in. It couldn't be more of a deserving
I know. It's awesome.
cast. I'm really excited to go be there.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Big Z had time to call you in between all the marathons he's running.
Yeah, and they're gonna retire his number this year in Boston, which
Yeah,
is
I saw that. I
yeah.
saw
So it's
that.
fantastic.
That
Good,
guy
good
may
for
be
Boston.
one of the nicest guys you would ever meet. He hit me one night in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. I was backing up, and right at the blue line, I was going back. The play was coming into Boston's end. He jumped over the boards, and he didn't see me, and he hit me, Jr. And I mean, I was 6 feet in the air. I landed. I got up. My helmet was sideways on my head. He comes right over. He goes, Timmy, Timmy, I did not mean to hit you. Oh, no, no, no. I know you didn't, Z. I know. So fast forward months later, we're in Ottawa for the All-Star game, and we're at the terminal. Everyone's flying out, all hungover, on Sunday after the festivities, and I'm sitting there with Tisha. Boom, Big Z comes over. Timmy, is this your wife? Is this your wife? I go, yeah, Z, this is Tisha. The nicest guy ever,
Unbelievable.
ever,
Unbelievable.
ever.
Unbelievable.
I love
Unbelievable.
that guy. I
Yeah,
love
me
that
too.
guy.
Me too. I'm gonna have a blast at the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, I got to get there Monday morning. I'll be in Detroit with the Hawks on Saturday and Sunday, but I'll get there Monday and I'll have my Hall of Fame jacket on and I'll be wearing it proud and I'll be crying and cheering for my boys. It's gonna be great.
Hey, listen, I was there last year with you. Did you have to get it dry cleaned after, or did you keep it pretty clean that night?
I kept it pretty clean. And not to say I didn't clean it, but I kept it pretty clean. Well, good stuff. What a way to start the season, man. What a great show, buddy.
Yeah.
Great takes. We had some positives, some negatives, some daggers, and some laughs, man. What a way to start No Filter for 25-26 season. Hopefully, all of you who were gracious enough to download from our Snipes and Stripes on nofilter.net enjoyed it. And we will catch you all year, at least once a week. We don't know
Yes.
what day it's going to be because we are so busy, but we'll make sure that we reach out and give you our opinions because whether you like it or not, they matter.
Love you, buddy.
You're the best. See you next week. Snipes and Stripes right here on nofilter.net. Catch you later.